Actually, the investing side, it's not just into website. I invest in real estates because I think real estate will never change in the sense of even there's a crash in the market, you have just to be patient and get back on track. But comparing to the website, okay, you can get cash flow, you can use that revenue to invest it somewhere. Right now, it's more riskier. So you have really to be smart how to invest your money in the portfolio and how you build them. And me personally, I always clone, for example, my website. If I have a website in beauty niche, I create the same website with the same structure so I can play around with the keywords for both websites. So if this website, believe me, sometimes it's the same article, you get different data from Google Search Console. You will be like, oh, it's the same article, the same keyword research, same structure, almost the same content, and you get different keywords. Like, okay, so that's the way you do it. You just create, you clone yourself, and you get more data than any other tools out there.
Do you have lots of people who help you with that?
Yes, yes. I always like to say they work with me instead of working for me. We take it more as, partnership. I actually even have partnership with my writers, which is amazing. And some of you guys maybe think, oh, maybe the writer will take my business. No, he will not copy you. Actually, he will help because he sees you have the skills and maybe they will write. So why they try to take your business away and create the whole thing on their own? They have to learn and learn to reach your level. So they partnership with you and you can make better money for both sides. It's win-win situation. We have people working with us in Spain, Italy, and in France.
Is it a big team? How many people? If
Yes,
it's not a secret.
yes. Well, we are over 25 people.
Oh, well, very nice.
Yeah.
Do you meet sometimes together once in a year or is
Yeah, yes. Actually, one of my best writers in Italy, I went to when there was a summit in Milan. Her husband actually picked me up from the hotel and we went right away to her place and we had the lasagna, Italian lasagna.
oh, cool.
Yeah, it's not just working. I don't like just to work with people without sharing more stuff. I know some people are, conservative in their thing and all of that. I understand that. But we always try to build that kind of relationship. It's not just about the money, it's not just about the business. And in Spain as well, when I went, there was someone working for me from Valencia. There's a couple in Barcelona. I visited both of them when I went to Spain.
Which
Yeah.
did you like more, Valencia or Barcelona?
Barcelona, you have a lot of to see, but I like more Valencia because it's quiet, it's calm. I think even the digital nomad community is growing a lot in Valencia instead of Barcelona. Besides that, there is the weather that helps a lot. The south is more, it's more sunny, more, yeah. I really liked it.
A quick interruption to say a few words about our wonderful sponsor, seo.domains. Seo.domains is by far the largest provider of aged expired domains worldwide. Every country is covered from US, UK to Ukraine, India, Japan, just any. From tens of thousands of domains, there will be good niche matches for 301 redirects and new money sites, while thousands of decently priced general domains make building a PBN so much easier. Grab your discount 15% off your first order with promo code SEOBAZA15. See it in the description below. Thank you.
I never bought a website. I more buy the domain and build the site based on the domains. I don't buy an actual website. I flip them, yes, but I don't buy them.
How then do you decide when you buy a domain if you want to invest into it, if it's worth investing into this or that domain?
Yeah, I don't complicate things because we know that the beauty niche, for example, and fitness or outdoors niche, there's always something out there. Especially the beauty products, there's always something new. Always you will see new perfume. Always you see new makeup. So, but it takes a lot of work because there's always changing into the product. So I always go with the beauty niche because I know more than anything else in other niche, and I know there's always profit into the beauty niche. So that's the route I go. So I don't complicate things. Now, if I want to tackle another niche, I had to do a lot of research, the trends, how is the competition, how it's easy to rank the keyword, Is it profitable? Because maybe if there is no other provider, let's say company that they will work with you, for example, because I know a lot of people who work with Amazon, but personally, when I build the site, we get a lot of requests from companies, private companies who wants to promote their products, and they have the actual product on Amazon. So if they sell the product on Amazon, we get to an agreement that, okay, I can keep the commission from Amazon, but I get 15 or 20% from them. So if you add the numbers, it goes to 20 to 25%. And they send you the actual product and you have the product in hand. So you have that kind of experience. So it makes it legit. And it's a win-win situation. For them, they are going to win and you are going to win. The only thing is the tracking is you have to create another ID on Amazon just to track that. But there are other places that you can do the same thing. It's not just Amazon. For example, Awin, maybe some people knows about them, that there are a lot of affiliate there. And we get 20 to 50 emails every day. Just they want to promote their product, but most of them we don't accept it because we don't believe that the product fit the website.
You actually try all these products in reality.
Yes, some of them, yes.
Oh, cool. Oh, what
Yeah.
would you recommend people who only start, so they cannot, like, they don't have this credibility from the product providers who will give their products to test or to write about? How can they enter the market?
Yeah, you see a lot of people when they do, for example, the buying guides, they choose maybe 8 products or 10 products and they just write about those products. In this case, if you don't have the budget, maybe you can just buy one product, a cheap one, just, cheap one in the sense that you can afford to do a review about it. Then you start from there. Then when you start getting the revenue and all of it, then you can maybe, if you have a next buying guide, you can buy 2 or 3 products. We don't buy that much, 2 to 3 products max, if we are going to buy them, if there's nobody, because the companies, they will not just come and give you the product because they want to. They have to see an article that it's ranking. Then they will reach out to you because they know your keyword is ranking. That's the only way they will find about you. And they will reach out to you just to promote their product. So for somebody, again, who's starting, maybe you can start with just one product. You review the product. If you are reviewing 5 products, you go with the first one that you believe, you did your research that it's worth it, that maybe it's the best. Then you can write maybe 500 words just for that product. Then you can add maybe a preference for the other ones by doing research. And the research, you can do it not just on Google. You go into Facebook groups, it's gold. You will find, for example, these days I was looking for trail running watch. Then you go into those group and you just ask the question and you get so much feedback. Then you will be, okay, if you run or anything like that, most of us, we know just Garmin or whatever, but you will see another brand and other people really like the other brand because I don't remember the name, Cora or Laura, something like that. But then I was Googling and I thought, wow, this actually watch is better than Garmin because the battery lasts longer. And these guys really know that it works for them. So, yeah. So before doing, you can find the information, especially in Reddit. But I like more Facebook because those communities, they're really, they're really tight. And out of the sudden, I found even somebody who was writing for this big website for outdoors, for example, Switchback Travel. It's a Canadian website, but they target the American audience. Actually, I found the guy who writes for them. It was like, wow.
Oh, cool.
So I guess that's how you find the writers who are experienced and they are willing to review the product too. So it's not just about Google. If you don't have the money to spend, then go on the groups and find out more about the actual product. Go on to Facebook Marketplace, Google, search the product, and you will see these guys who are selling the actual product. You can reach out to them and say, hey, can I pay you for one picture? I don't want the product. I give you $5. He will take it because, okay, $5 and he's not selling the product. He will send you the picture and that's it. You're done. You can do that. It's, let's say, gray hat, but the guy who can speak about the product. And to be honest, the people who likes or have a passion for that, he would just keep writing and giving you a whole message to Facebook Messenger about the product. You will be, okay, I got here a free review about the product that nobody wrote that content. So yeah, there's a way to do it if you don't have money to invest at the beginning.
So you are talking about that it's not all about Google when you are researching for the content, but when you are like outputting the content, you want to target not only Google in nowadays. Do you do TikToks? Do you do Reels? Do you do anything else on your websites and for your audience?
On the website right now, we are just doing YouTube Shorts. It's working better than the normal videos. Unfortunately, Google is trying to compete against TikTok, and they are winning some ground out there. They are growing when it comes to call it to the shorts.
Do they convert into buyers?
As subscribers, yes, but to send the traffic to the website, we didn't see any sign of growth yet.
Did you try to put your affiliate link into the shorts description and
No,
target? No?
the other videos, yes, but the shorts not yet. We want it to grow
Oh,
first, so people will not think that it's just about Amazon links or whatever it is. Yeah, people know they have really short attention online, especially with the short videos. They just watch maybe 5 seconds or 10 seconds, and that's it. TikTok, we didn't try it. We are going to try it. Personally, I have a TikTok account, but I want to separate it from the business. So it has to be really one account for each website and each line for each website. Because if you have a phone number with two TikTok accounts, believe me that they will delete the second one as soon as you move to another country.
let us talk about things to look at before you are adding a domain to your portfolio. How do you pick the right domain? What are you looking at?
So when it comes to the domain, we always go with something that it's not expired unless you want maybe to test it just for testing purposes. Maybe you want to build PBN or whatever based on that. But most of the time, we buy agent domain that we know that we can tackle that niche. So before doing that, I usually actually look for the trend or the niche. If it's worth it, then I will look for the actual domain. But sometimes, you get addicted. You look, then you find, oh, it's a good domain. It has a strong backlink. It has a strong branding, because that's what I'm noticing lately. If you go on Href, you check any website that is performing that wasn't hit by Google, you see that the backlink profile is more about branding rather than any other keywords. It's strong signal that maybe for Google, okay, it's a brand, it's not just affiliate. We base the domain or we buy the domain based on the branding. That's the first thing we look at. If the domain is indexed as well, if it got a couple of pages that they still live on Google, that's another signal that we look into. Because if we just buy a domain that has just one page on Google, for me, it's not risky, but I rather not try it. There's no secret into it. It's straightforward. Like there isn't something sophisticated to get the domain that you're looking for. It's just based on your niche that you want to tackle.
Yeah, but like the most simple things are the most effective usually, aren't they?
Yeah.
What can you what can you recommend to mitigate some risks associated with investing into domains and building your websites and them?
Personally, I always look for the domains as a business instead of a hobby. I know most of people when they buy the domain, maybe they want it just like a hobby, but if you treat it as a business, I think every day when you wake up, you have to think that your business will be gone the next day. And that's how you push forward. Because if you think, especially with Google updates, the next day your traffic is gone, right? And it's happening more and more and more. So if you treat it as a serious business, obviously there's always risk. But if you take care of it as a business and you put a lot of focus into it, I think you will have a website or a niche website that is protected from risks if you put time into it.
What do you do when the site is not growing? You bought the domain, like it happens to all of us at some
Yeah,
point. So we cannot say that every project we start is successful. What do you do when it is not?
I just leave it alone. I don't touch it. If it's not growing, it's stuck, it happens. The domain, sometimes it just Google doesn't want it. You can do nothing about it. I had a domain that I bought maybe over a year and think it I waited till the ninth month that Google start crawling it, sending traffic. I was like, oh, forget this domain because I'm not going to waste any money or time into it. And out of the sudden, Google starts sending traffic. Then it stopped again. I said, you know what? Google doesn't like this website. Leave it. I just leave it. I will not spend so much time into it because it's not
So
worth
you
it.
don't research whys, all the whys, and you just leave it and go on to the next one.
Yeah, I can spend some time to check why, but sometimes you try anything and you can't figure it out. It just Google doesn't like it, period.
Okay.
Doesn't like it. Yeah, it happened. It happened for a couple of projects and I couldn't figure it out and I just leave it. So I better put that time growing the other side.
Yeah, I see. In Sagan, you've mentioned that one of your favorite techniques is to create digital products and sell them. Can you expand on that? Because I don't remember that you were telling a lot about that. How do you create them? How do you sell them? How do you decide which digital? So you've mentioned, I think you've mentioned ebooks, some templates, and I don't remember something else. Can you tell more about that?
For the digital products, if you have a niche that you know that it's worth creating digital product, it's not just ebooks. It's more about courses. For example, let's say a makeup niche, how to become, I don't know, someone who fashionist or someone who wants to be professional when it comes to makeup. We get into agreement with companies that they want to sell those courses or just a local business. Then you can find some people who wants to buy that course. We just, refer them to that business and they buy the actual course on the business. And doesn't just go with fashion, even with courses, for example, music, playing a guitar. I had the website that I sold a couple of days ago and somehow it works. Obviously, you will not sell a lot, but if you sell a couple, two or three a month, you will be okay. Plus the affiliate commission, but those are the actual product we sell. It's more about courses, not more about ebook.
And you also mentioned templates. What do you mean by templates? Some tables in Power BI or somewhere else, or
Yeah,
what?
to be honest, the templates I just suggested at the Saigon SEO Mastery because I saw a couple of guys doing the same thing, which is they create and they sell the templates on Etsy. So they have a website about, I don't know, about Excel sheet and all of that. They teach how to use Excel. Then they have their store on Etsy. So people go on Etsy and buy their template from there.
Do you have your own course, like which you sell with your face on it?
No, I don't.
Why?
I don't, and it's not about time. I just don't want it to do it for now. Maybe in the future, I don't know. Some guys they told me, "Oh, you have to make or sell your course." I remember once I posted something on Facebook about how people spend the money into Starbucks, Netflix. Here in Canada, for example, people spending money in Starbucks, Netflix. If you put all those together, they are spending around almost 1,500 a year for that. But
Oh,
if you tell
wow.
them, oh, go and invest the 1,500 in something, maybe a domain, maybe, I don't know, in some YouTube channel, they wouldn't do it. So, so I posted that, and some of my friends, because most of them, they don't know what I do. Then they reach out, oh, do you have a course? Are you selling a course? Then what I do, I say, I don't have a course, but I can send you links, articles that you can start getting educated, right? And after that, they don't even get back to me to tell me, oh, can you help me? People are just lazy. People
Can
are
you
just lazy.
recommend a course that you like that can like in a thing mimic what you are doing or some best practices in your experience?
The only course that I bought personally because I was curious was from Matt Diggity. I think it's still open. I don't know if it's still open, but that's the only course I found that it's valuable, and I think it teach the beginner step by step how to create a niche website or a website to grow. The only thing that I recommend that everyone should go the visual way, which is videos, because even I don't know if you read sometimes the newsletter from Google, Think with Google. The last newsletter they were mentioning a lot about the videos. So everyone who will grow a website needs really a YouTube channel or TikTok channel or account to build his audience or her audience from there, because just content is not fully proof right now. Yeah.
Also, Insider, you've mentioned that you are doing SEO audits on your websites each month. And among other things that you are checking there, you've mentioned Core Web Vitals. And they're kind of, I know that some SEOs regard them to be very important, some regard them to be not important. So, in your experience, how important are Core Web Vitals for affiliate websites?
The actual core web vitals is just for the speed. I think as a user, when you go on your phone or on your desktop and you just Google something and you click on the website, it takes so much to load. I think it makes sense that, oh, it's not loading. So the user will just get out and go back to Google and search. It's not about just optimization for Google. It's more about your CTR on the website. If people will not click on your website because it's loading so slow, they will just go back to Google. And that's sign for Google that your website is not working. It sucks. So why Google keeps sending you traffic? Yeah, I always optimize it because I know it should be. If you care about the users that you want user to stay on your website. Yeah. And now obviously not just web vitals, you have to check all the technical stuff because sometimes even with schema, I don't know, some themes that they break the schema or something like that, then you have to go back and fix it.
You say that you may wake up one day and you don't have a business anymore because it's Google and these are updates and so on. But you need to forecast somehow, like because it's again it's business. So how do you forecast expenses and profits? Like do you do that at all?
Also, what I do, I usually invest in different markets. For example, let's say the beauty. I just don't invest in the beauty. I invest, let's say, for outdoors. So it's different market, different niche, and I go even for different country. For example, if I'm building a website in outdoors in Italy, I will not just stop there. I will build another website in France related to outdoors. And if you can see, sometimes you compare the numbers, you can be profitable in France rather in Italy when it comes to the same niche. So if the website got hit in Italy, you still have the French one. But as you can see, Google lately is targeting really these countries because it looks like it's easier to rank and make money, right? The last Google update, it hits France, Italy, Spain. I think the only country that they weren't hitting were like Middle Eastern countries because yeah, they know the culture there still behind when it comes to do online purchasing. And I agree. If I created one website in Arabic just for testing and in a couple of days you just get traffic because it's so easy to rank. But to make money, mm, unless you target maybe Emirates or Saudi Arabia, maybe you can make some money. But other Arab countries, even with AdSense, you will not make nothing. So, so you
Yeah.
can't just waste your time there creating content. And beside that, again, if you have a cash flow from your website, I believe you better invest it somewhere, just not online. Why? Even Amazon is doing the same thing. Do you see that Amazon is investing offline? They started online, but they're, for example, here in Canada, they're buying business. They are buying like supermarkets. They got, which brand is that? I forgot the name. They're buying real businesses that they know they people because and the business they are buying, for example, something related to food. People will always eat.
Yeah.
People can starve.
Hopefully.
People investing, for example, in real estate because here in Canada, we still need developments, not like Europe, for example, because it's stagnant. But here in Canada, there are projects everywhere. For example, if you have a good credit, because we are numbers, just like the US, not like Europe. If you have a good credit and you have some kind of money, if you invest, let's say 2023, there's a project from zero, you invest, let's say 100K, in a couple 2 or 3 years when the building is done or the townhouse is you already made maybe around 100K from your investment. Nobody will give you that. This is in Canada right now, and we know that a lot of foreigners are doing the same thing, and that's why the government just created another law that a foreigner can just buy here without being a resident, because it's,
Oh,
yeah, because there are a lot of money. But there's always people know somebody who will invest in their place and they will get the money anyway. So yeah, so that's how you protect your money. And lately, well, this year we start investing in people instead just investing on our website, because there is always somebody out there who doesn't have the cash to build a business, but they know a lot. So if you invest with them, you help them grow, both you will win.
how do you
For
find these
example,
people?
this is a coincidence. My partner, she's in HR, and at work, she works for a big company. And her colleague, her daughter, she lives in the US, and she has a business related to, how do you call it, to interior design. How they, Then I said, okay, send me her profiles. I always check. Then, oh, she had more than 100K followers on Instagram and this and that, and she doesn't know nothing what to do with it. Nothing, nothing. And she created the website, just throw the website out there. When I check the website, oh, what's going on here? The website is a mess. It's not optimized, and she's no. So somebody like that, you help them build the website, you optimize it, and they are the face of the website. You're done. You will make a money because they have a lot of followers and they trust them. So you, as a new guy, just create an interior design website. Nobody knows you. You have no followers. It's harder for you to reach out that level. So that's what I'm thinking for this 2023, investing in people. But I heard even Matt Diggity, one of his videos, or he mentioned that they are trying to reach out to YouTube YouTubers, small channels to partner with them. I don't know how is that going. I didn't try it personally, but I believe that investing in people who don't have funds or they are just starting and you believe they can make it out there, I think it's worth it. It's worth
So you are a
trying.
proponent of creator economy. You believe that it will be expanding and growing.
Yes, yes.
You were recommending a website in your Saigon presentation. Do you
Oh
remember
yeah,
that?
yeah. That's
For
from
massive, for massive,
Wikipedia.
yeah. How do you use this? How do you use it? Because I just looked into it. I understood that there's lots of data there. So like some daily average views and page views and all these
Yeah.
kind of things. How do you use this information for your
So
business?
yeah, so for example, the screenshot that you showed the hiking, from the hiking, you will see new niches that they are coming up. They are new that you can tackle and open website before anybody else. That's how I use it. For example,
Oh,
I
okay.
saw some example, for example, fast hiking, something like that on the list. And that niche, if you go on Google, even the English market, the US market, you will not find a lot of competition. I think it's out there.
Maybe somewhere below. Oh, fast packing
Yeah,
is
there
is
you go.
this.
Fast tagging. Yeah, if you go on HF or any tool that you like, you can try that niche and you will see that. See, it's sub niche that nobody is covering right now. Even ultra light backpacking, people who like just light backpacking. It's different from backpacking or hiking or trekking. People who really want something that it's not heavy when they go hiking or backpacking, or yeah, there are a lot of niches out there.
If you are trying to work with creators, that means like you're open to these partnerships and you say so open when you're working with your team. Do you give them some special bonus for managing affiliate websites, like when you flip them or something else? Do you share, how do you mention that? Do you have options for them?
For example, for when I partner with my writer in one project, it's 50-50%. Whatever we make, we split it. When we sell
Oh,
the website, then we split the same thing too. Yeah, it's they put the work, they put the content, you optimize, you do the keyword research. Yes, it's 50-50%. You can
so
just
you
give
are
them.
very generous.
No, it must be
You are
like
very
this
generous.
because that's how it is. That's how they will keep up with you, and that's how they will stay with you. And it's a win-win
And
situation. There's nothing wrong to give them 50%. And sometimes even I feel bad. Am I giving them the right amount or not? That's how I had to find a way that they are comfortable, that they are earning what they are looking for or what they are aspiring. And the two, I have just two of them that I partner with them because I trust them so much, and I never heard a complaint. And at the end of the year, because we separate, the partnership is one thing, and writing for the website and all the content, it's one thing. They get paid separately with different things because the other one is earning for them. They have to claim it as in their taxes in their country as an income, and the other one an income, but it's different. It's from their gig
Oh,
as a
okay.
freelancer. Yeah, it's different when it comes to taxes. And at the end of the year, we see how we are profitable. Then we give them a bonus too, which is based
Okay.
on their. Yeah, that's how you keep them. Because if you don't motivate them and all of that, they will leave. And they are right. It's true. Why they would waste time? Of course, it's freelancing world. We always see people going in and going out, but to keep them, you have to do that. That's how I believe that at the end we are all happy. We are all winning, right?
Yeah, that's cool. It seems
That
like people will be willing to work with you because I've talked to many affiliate people and they usually just, take people, churn and burn, work with them for some time, very short period, and like goodbye.
yeah,
And
sorry, I have one of actually the account manager. I always push her, when are you going to start your own website? And she's, no, no, wait. I said, well, this year you are going to start it or you're fired. Because I want to see them grow too. Because if they don't grow, I don't grow. I want to see them, and believe me, I had really good experience. I had someone who was from Venezuela. She was a journalist back in Venezuela, and I don't know if you're aware about the situation in Venezuela is really bad. Um, I remember when we started working together, I helped her and she helped me. We worked together till she moved to the US. Then, even when she found a job in insurance, somehow after 6 months or something, they were trying to find someone who knows a bit of SEO and and all of that. And she was the perfect candidate. Oh, yeah, that will bring tears to me because when she told me, thanks to you, thanks to the experience, I got this. See, it makes me, a bit emotional, but and that's what makes you happy when to see other people growing. That's why in Saigon I said, guys, don't be greedy.
I have your handle in Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn. Which one would you prefer as a primary method to connect with you, if you like to be connected with, of course?
Uh, Facebook or LinkedIn. Twitter, I'm not
Okay.
spending that much there.
Here is Twitter, here is Facebook, and here is LinkedIn. Thank you so much. I think I've asked pretty much, not everything, of course, but I don't want to make this huge video. I want everyone to watch